Welcome to the Garden of Eve. Eve? Where's Eve? Eve Kaplan, thank you so much for hosting us today. It's a great farm, a farmland that has been preserved in the past. These are the farmers of Riverhead. These are the farmers of the East End. These are the people that are really helping us. Almost 6% of this county is in farmland. And it's our goal to make sure that that continues, which is why we're here today. I'm joined by our presiding officer, our supervisor from the town of Riverhead, our county legislator, Catherine Stark, of course, Eve Kaplan, and Rob Carpenter, who is head of the Long Island Farm Bureau, and a whole host of other people in the farming community, including our farm in Yaphank, and Sarah Lansdale, our Planning and Economic Development Commissioner. Thank you. And Ron Bush. Ron is saving every element dealing with farming. He has a farm over in Brookhaven Hamlet. And one of these days, we're going to talk about maybe taking over some of that stuff and making it a farm museum for Suffolk County, so we remember our past. Because it's only by remembering our past that we move forward. We're here today because we're putting $15 million in the capital fund to ensure that farmland preservation continues. I had the distinct pleasure from 2006 to 2012 of representing this area. And the one thing I can tell you, I believe in that time period, I bought more farmland and open space than my 17 other colleagues. And that was important. It was important to preserve our past, to make sure that farming remains active. And today, we stand on the 50th anniversary of the farmland preservation. Because in 1974, our then county executive, John V. N. Klein, had the wisdom and the foresight to realize that developers were buying up farmland, and if they continued, we would not have farming. 50 years ago, he set the county on a parcel where we would buy the development rights. The farmer would own the land and it would remain in farming, but the development rights would be purchased by the county, so the farmer would get a nice chunk of change and then use that money hopefully to improve the farm, but you would be guaranteed that that land, even if he sold it or the farmer sold it, that it would stay in farming. So that's important. Today, we're going to talk about the $15 million, of which $2.4 million is buying a farm right down the road for 33 acres, and that's important. It's important because it reminds Suffolk that we are going to do all we can to make sure that farming stays a vital industry. And with farming, and you can ask the Farm Bureau, you need a concentration of farms to make farming stay active. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our presiding officer and then our supervisor and our county legislator. Presiding officer.
Thank you, County Executive. And, it's a pleasure to be out here on the East End as a legislator from the western portion of the county, where we don't have a lot of farmland, but it doesn't mean that we don't appreciate the farms that we do have here on the east end of the county. I used to say the only thing I knew about farming is what Al Krupski told me when he was a legislator out here. Now I'm relying on Catherine Stark to pass on those stories to me of farming. But I do know the importance of the farmland, and whether it be outright purchases of these farms or the development rights, it has been a formula that has worked for 50 years and is something that we've been committed to on the legislature, and now the county executive is redoubling those efforts to make sure that we expand our outreach and our ability to be able to preserve these farms in many different ways. So I'm proud to be here as a West End legislator to support the good work that we're doing here on the East End of Suffolk County, and we'll continue to work together with the county executive and our supervisor and our other legislators to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you. And next I'd like to call up the supervisor, and I will tell you Riverhead has been terrific. they have spent the Community Preservation Fund on open space and farmland development rights to the maximum. And with that, Tim Hubbard, our supervisor in Riverhead.
Thank you, sir. I want to thank the Suffolk County, the county executive, Sarah. The money that they are using to preserve land in Riverhead goes a long, long way. Riverhead still has approximately 7,000 acres of land that could be preserved, and we are chipping away at it all the time. With the CPS fund, as the county executive said, we have preserved more land in Riverhead than any of the East End towns combined, and that's a great thing. The more we can save, the more we can preserve, the more we can keep the farmers in business. We have to do everything we can do possibly to make that happen. No farmers, no food. And if you look at me, I like food. So we certainly...
Me too.
We certainly need to protect our farmers and do everything we can to keep this tradition going on. And again, I thank the county so much. This is awesome.
This is our farm belt.
Great day in Riverhead. Thank you.
And our legislator, Catherine Stark.
Thank you. Our farming program is historic. It was one of the first in the nation, and it was replicated across the country. It has changed as farming has changed, but we continue its vital mission of preserving farms. With this $15 million, we'll be focused specifically on the farms. You have to have a willing seller. We're now competing with developers that want to buy large swaths that are left. And like the farm that the county executive referred to down the road, it's very important to have contiguous farms that creates a whole farming belt. Farmers support each other, lend each other equipment, sometimes lend each other help. So having those contiguous farms is very, very important. And I thank the county executive for his commitment to the Farmland program, and with the $15 million, the willing farmers that are out there, just come on in and we're happy to buy your development rights. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And last but not certainly least, we have Rob Carpenter from the Farm Bureau, an advocate for farmers, someone that's been plugging away, someone that's a willing partner, someone that has helped so many. Rob.
Thank you, County Executive Romaine. First and foremost, I'd like to recognize County Executive Romaine and all of the past county executives who have supported the farming community, as he said, going back to John Klein. Every one of them has been tremendous in helping preserve farmland. I think our partners at the Suffolk County Legislature also deserve recognition, because without them supporting us, there would be no program going forward. So we recognize our folks at the county legislature for all the great work that they do. And I think also somebody that, or people that go unnoticed, are the county staff, who day after day continue to work on the farmland program to make sure that farms have offers and they do the work necessary to help preserve the ag lands. Going forward in the future, we don't know where our food is going to come from. So every acre of land that we can preserve today guarantees that in the future we'll have access to a healthy local food supply to help feed the 3 million people in Nassau and Suffolk counties that rely on us to give food every day to them to be able to have good sustenance. So we thank everybody and hope that we can continue to preserve the next 10,000 acres to get that critical mass that's so important to us.
Absolutely. Good. I think we're going to have a signing here of the, and we're all going to sit down and sign something. But bottom line is, boy, we need more farmers, and we need to preserve our farms. We need to work with our schools so our kids have nutrition, and they get it right from the farm to table, which is a tradition out here for a lot of fundraisers. A farm to table should be the same thing for our school districts. They sure have to buy processed foods when they can buy natural foods. Anyway, with that, let's sign.